Future State, Immortal Wonder Woman, issue 2, Becky Cloonan writing with Jen Bertel on the art, on the main story at least, obviously the backup.
And Michael W. Conrad writing as well.
Oh, sorry, I Michael W. Conrad too. So yeah, this is Wonder Woman at the end of the universe, basically, and a little bit more about how Superman kind of died, taking Dark Side into the sun and exploded.
And the sun.
And the sun, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was surprised with how much I liked the last issue of this. I think this one was still well done enough, but I was kind of, I left this one being a bit more. Yeah, it was okay. Like I didn't love it.
I like this one more.
You know, this is definitely the end of the DC universe. Like,
right.
The end, you have hope and wrath, right? And one has to outlive the other. And yeah, it was fine again. But I think I'm with Pete on this one.
I think for me, what it is that I don't necessarily hate the concept of the idea, but comics like to do this a lot, where they'll try and do these big kind of end of the universe things. They'll try and show and I've seen it done enough that like it has to feel special. And I think reading this after Superman Worlds of War, where it captured this aura so perfectly, this one felt like, obviously the art's very good and it's doing what it's doing, but I felt like it wasn't quite actually hitting the feeling that it wanted, and I wasn't really feeling the actual weight of this is the end of everything. So you know, and I mean the ending's a nice touch. You know, there was Wonder Woman essentially is the last being in the known universe, and she essentially transcends into you know.
Well, I think the idea
into the stars.
Is that there's a new, you know, our universe, this DC universe ends, and a new one is born after, and she is, you know, remembered as a constellation essentially.
Right, which fits in with mythology and stuff too, because that would, you know. Yeah. That's why they would explain the stars and the cosmos.
And there's this implication that every constellation in our sky is the final remnants of a previous
hero.
Right? Yeah, like a previous universe, previous hero.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
But I did like at the end, it's Brainiac's ship, the Spectre, in Wonder Woman. And when you want to read into it, if you want to look at it like a legend, right, or a myth, that it is hope or truth, you know, wrath, and intellect, and you know, almost one of them falls before the other until all you have left is truth or hope, whatever you want to call it, you know, and that's what gets remembered, right? It's the best of it, not, you know, which is a nice touch. But I just for where it built to with Superman and Darkseid, and you know, and then this just to become her wandering and basically fighting the Langoliers, you know.
I was into to say.
Yeah, again, it's fine. It's not my favorite. I'll take Bartel art.
It's very pretty
as much as they want to give it to us. Like,
I saw people are really angry on Twitter because at one point, I don't know if it's dialogue or narration, but she says that she loved Superman, and it's not meant in a romantic way in this issue very clearly, right?
Yeah, I never took it as romantic.
No. And that was not the intent. You know, they even, you know, the writer even said no, that wasn't the point. You know, but it was basically people getting angry, going, "Oh, stop bringing back New 52 relationships. You better not do this in your actual run." I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
People
do you read this?
No, they read something. They read a blurb and then they don't get the context. And it's like Wonder Woman has love for everybody. That she is like the embodiment of compassion, right? Like, I don't get picking that. Like, and also, I enjoyed the first couple issues of Superman Wonder Woman, and I kind of dig that relationship for the New 52, you know.
I would never want it as a long-term relationship, but I'm open to the concept of them exploring it as being, oh no, we're two very similar beings. That made sense to me.
Well, even I'm not even mad at Wonder Woman and Batman in those in the, what was it? Was it the Batman issue? Or was it a Wonder Woman issue? I can't remember.
That kind of originated in the Justice League cartoon, right?
It did, but it was that issue where Wonder Woman pulls Batman into to fight, and it's like this eternal battle, and they end up being in there. I think it was the King issue, where they end up having to fight, you know, and they're in there for what seems like an eternity, but it's really only a couple days. And, you know, there's like this, it ends with this, well, didn't they? Because Catwoman shows up at the end, you know. Pete, do you know what I'm talking about? Because I'm getting Connor's confused face here.
I don't remember it. I'll be honest. Oh no, it's just come back to me. I do remember it because it's the 2-issue arc that we didn't really enjoy that much.
Yeah,
and we all felt like that King didn't really get have Diana's voice down.
No. Okay, so it was King.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I like the sentiment of it, right? Because that's something that I can
because it was
see.
it was Diana and Catwoman, right? For a part of it.
Yes.
No, it was Catwoman waiting behind.
Right.
And it was I think we had some of her narration kind of dealing with the quote unquote jealousy, and I think that was part of the point of that story. But I think I remember feeling like the idea was fine, but none of us liked the voice for Diana.
And even something like that, where I'm like, I shouldn't enjoy it in the right hands. It's fine. So I feel like sometimes people just want to get angry about stuff.
Just for the record, the line here is narration as Superman's fine with Darkseid. It just says it was Superman who loved the world even as it wasted away, and I loved him all the more for it. Like it's clearly not romantic.
If anything, the thing that you could even, if you're going to argue any of her narration is romantic sounding, it's the bit that comes after where she says something to the effect of, I like to think in those final moments he was thinking of me, but I know that can't be true. Like, if anything, that sounds way more romantic than her saying, and I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying that's...
No, but the thinking of me I took as he did this because he was trying to preserve what was left, right? Yeah. That's how I took it. I didn't have it think like, oh, was he thinking of Diana's? No, it was like, she's all that's left, and I'm sacrificing myself so she can go on.
And then, but she's very aware that no, it wasn't about her. The final thoughts wouldn't have been about her just because she's all that's left. It was still about Earth.
Right, saving Earth. So, yeah, no, but again, before we went on that, just the Bartel art, she's real good.
Yeah,
I can, I read all of, and I didn't enjoy. It was her and Humphreys. I think it was a Blackbird.
Yep.
It's a very weird book, but the art was fantastic. So
yeah, it's a shame we never got any more of that. Because it didn't end.
I remember her asking me as I'm buying a print from her, it's okay if you don't like it. The story kind of slow, but it picks up.
It definitely picked up.
2 or 3. Yeah, and I was like, no,
it got wild.
Yeah, it's fine, but yeah, just the way that she works with the colors too. Just like there's this almost neon-y pastel vibe to it that really, when she gets alone in the dark, it really stands out.
It's a
real, especially there at the end,
digital sheen that Bartel has, because obviously there's a lot of digital artists now, and some lean into that and some try and make it look more traditional. This is obviously more in the this is overtly digital sphere of things, but it's very different to a lot of the others, and there's a lot of bold colors and it's really striking and blocks, but there are touches of blending that make it kind of stand out differently.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be too down on it. I didn't like, after being blown away by Superman and really loving what they've done with next Batman.
I get it.
This kind of came in as just, this is fine. Like, I thought it was fine.
Well, say I read this before any of those books. I think this was the first thing I read this week, just so my bar wasn't that high yet, perhaps.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, that said, though, I think I'd have a very similar kind of ranking if I had read them in a different order. This to me is like, it's very pretty, and I kind of like conceptually what it's doing, but I don't feel conceptually what it's doing. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, it's again, like you said, I've read this story before, and it was in Thor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This was definitely Aaron Stoll.
So. Yeah, where in Thor though you had this build over how many issues?
It was a run.
50.
Yeah,
like an old King Thor and versus Gore, and
Do you know what this felt like to me? This felt like one of those 10-page stories that you get in like an anthology like special or something, where this is Wonder Woman at the end of the universe for 10 pages talking to the Spectre.
Do you know what I'm gonna say? It's maybe why I'm more open to it being done in a shorter format. As compared to like Aaron's Story, which like I say was built to, because this was an episode of Doctor Who as well, and just one episode.
Sure.
No wonder I don't like it that much.
But I'm like, but the idea of just this is the end of the world, the end of the universe, not the world.
Right.
Not the end of the world too, but this is the end of the universe. It's a great couple episodes. and the idea, if I'm open to it, and just okay, here it is in like 2 episodes or whatever that was. The idea of being in 2 issues isn't that different to me conceptually in my head.
Doctor Who's a great example of like nice ideas and then execution that doesn't make them feel like they're as weighty as they should be.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I was thinking about. I think Neil Gaiman. How do we say it? I always forget. Gaiman. Yeah. When he helped write on the show, I remember he did an interview talking about like when the TARDIS breaks down and they need parts for it, and they're in a junkyard and it can literally be anything. And I thought about that and went, that gives me way too much anxiety to want to watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, he did 1 episode, and I think it was the one where the TARDIS had a personality. I mean, it's always got a personality, but there was a point where it was anthropomorphized, and it had like an actual, this woman was the body of the TARDIS, and she was there, and and talking to the Doctor rather than just being the noises that it makes.
Gotcha. But yeah, I just remember thinking like, I don't think I could watch that show. Just
it was a real good episode.
Too big, yeah, I'm sure. But yeah. Anyways, we rating this one?
Yeah, we should. Matt, gonna go.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it's solid.
Connor?
I really liked it. I'm going with an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm probably a 7 with Matt. It's good. It's solid enough, but I didn't really feel much from it. So
looking forward to the the main run from this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm hoping that actual long form storytelling will make give it some of the weight that I think's missing here. Mm-hmm. I definitely liked the first issue more than this one because I definitely felt more positive. I think for that first one.
The main run though is her in Valhalla, right? That's where it starts.
It's 2 stories. It's one is her in Valhalla, and I think it's the backups are her in younger days of some sort.
Yeah, so I feel like since it's gonna have a different vibe, right?
I actually think that that book might take place after the ending of this. After the end of the universe.
Maybe.
What does Wonder Woman do then?
That potentially sounds less interesting to me, but I'll wait and see what the actual idea is before.
Because I'm taking that as it's a jumping point from how Metal ended.
But because there's no way in hell that Wonder Woman never comes back to present day continuity at some point. So
it's obviously going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
But no, I'm still in on that. Like that's even, you know what I mean?
It's Wonder Woman in Valhalla. Also, there was no way you weren't in on that.
No. Also in this issue, points for Diana talking with Spectre. Like that's cool. You don't see that too often. So good on them for throwing that in there.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Future State Nightwing issue 2, Andrew Constant. Oh, sorry, there's a backup. Sorry.
Did anyone read the backup?
Did anyone read the backup?
I did.
Just damn it, Matt. I want to go to bed.
Real quick, Grail ends up. She's the one that pulled Nubia to her. She, comes to find out that the crown that was gifted to Nubia is a long lost, Amazonian. It's the last piece of the key, which makes her the protector of the key. And she ends up, transforming into a version of Wonder Woman. And almost like she is a representative of this group of Amazons that had created that weapon and then tried to destroy it. And that her origin isn't as clear as we may have thought it, because they bring up how she shares a similar blood with Diana.
If you want to know more, the graphic novel is out. According to these adverts, in February, so very soon, if not already.
So, a lot of fun action. I do like the character Nubia. It feels like it's playing with the whole gods and myths thing that I love in Wonder Woman. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. Would you like to rate it then?
Yeah. I'll give this a 7.5.
Yeah. I like the character well enough from that the first part, but so if this miniseries that stars makes its appearance that was announced, then
assumed miniseries.
Assumed miniseries.
For all we know.
Could be ongoing, could be digital first, could be many a thing, but we know there's something coming with her later this year.